Wednesday morning, we'll get in step with the Junior ROTC program at Chaparral. Provides discipline, direction, and a sense of self-worth, and it is cool at school.
Plus, Dana continues her series on road rage and its impact on your morning commute.
We start at 5. Come see us.
A private military company based right here in Nevada. You'll be amazed by what Eyewitness News uncovered about who really guards our military bases, how much they are paid, and just who is paying them.
We know the name of the young man targeted and killed by an anonymous bomber.
The device in itself is a witness.
See what's next in Metro's Search for Answers.
And as more and more family members pour into town to mourn the deaths of 5 loved ones in a DUI crash, we are learning more about the 3 survivors.
Now, your #1 11 p.m. newscast. Channel 8 Eyewitness News in HD.
That family has lived here just a short time, but we have learned they are giving back in a very selfless way.
The father in this family, while grieving over 5 loved ones, has given the gift of life to save someone else. A source close to the family tells Eyewitness News that the organs of the 7-month-old baby who died in the crash have been donated for transplant. Channel 8 Eyewitness News is live. Adrian Aramulo joins us from UMC. And Adrian, I hope the family has had some good news tonight.
Well, Paula, there is some promising news. The 3 crash victims who are still here, all of whom are still in critical condition, are expected to survive. Now, family members from all over the country have been flying in, showing up here at UMC to visit them. It's been a hectic time for them as they balance visiting their loved ones, planning funeral services for 5 family members, and preparing to see the suspect in court tomorrow morning. The lives of all these people have been turned upside down. 8 of the relatives were traveling in this Mercedes-Benz when police say a drunk driver smashed into them. 5 were killed, including 4 children. 3 others suffered life-threatening injuries.
It's so hard.
It's an emotionally exhausting time for family and friends who have come into town. Well, the survivors are improving.
They're in better condition now.
Relatives arrive by the day. Around 30 are here now from California, Texas, Mexico. They mourn the victims, support the survivors, and lean on each other.
Everybody's praying, and we appreciate all the help everybody's given us.
During this tough time, they want to thank people who have prayed for the family and showed up to the memorial site, and also to the community organization Stop DUI, which is financing travel expenses and funeral costs.
She would just like to really give a big thanks for the organizations who came through and helped us with everything. Without them, it wouldn't have been possible.
Their minds are on their loved ones, but also the one accused of killing and hurting them, 19-year-old Ronald Jane Jr.
He takes 5 lives, 3 still in critical condition, and he walks away without a scratch.
They say all of them will be in court Wednesday morning for a hearing for Jane.
We just want him to pay for some of this that he has caused, all the heartache he has caused to this whole entire family.
The family hopes people learn from their suffering to not drink and drive. They say you never know what can happen, who you might encounter, how it could all end up. Ronald Jane Jr. is scheduled to appear in court at 7:45 tomorrow morning. He faces 20 counts of criminal behavior, including felony DUI and involuntary manslaughter. The family says funeral arrangements have not been finalized yet, but could include a public memorial service. Reporting live, Adrian Aramulo, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Adrian. The family is trying to fly the bodies of the children home to bury them in Mexico. They're asking anyone who wants to donate to give to the Dominguez Sevilla Fund at any Citibank branch. And a second fund has been set up at Bank of America. You can donate to the Mirando Memorial Fund at any branch. The loss of a human life can never be measured, but police do have to keep a tally of traffic deaths, and what they're seeing this year has them worried. So far in 2007, Metro has investigated 69 traffic deaths. The latest death on our roads happened last night when boxer Diego Corrales lost control of his motorcycle and was killed. Police say the major problem is out-and-out recklessness.
We're seeing more of an arrogant driver, a risk taker. We're seeing people who are willing to be a couple minutes early to their destination and risk a citation.
Police say drivers are also distracted by their cell phones or text messaging or any number of things. Studies show that's as dangerous as drunk driving.
Neighbors in one area say this weekend's deadly crash points to the recurring problem of speeding in that area.
I know people have gone 50, 60 miles an hour down here, and it's really a 35-mile-an-hour zone, so we're concerned about that.
The community surrounding Tenaya and farms say they would welcome anything from speed bumps to a stoplight to make those roads safer. They say there are very few curves, and that seems to encourage drivers to take the roads a little too fast. The city said the intersection will be studied to see if a traffic light is needed. Henderson police say a driver under the influence of drugs hit a landscaper, sending him to the hospital. He is now in critical condition. It happened on Green Valley Parkway. Police say the landscaper had set up his truck and secured the area when the driver hit him. That driver was arrested.
Police are piecing together a puzzle, trying to figure out why someone would want to blow up and kill 24-year-old Wilibaldo Durantes Antonio. He was just getting off work at Nathan's Hot Dogs in the Luxor when he found a cup or something on top of his car. When he moved in, he triggered his own destruction. Now, officials are examining what's left of that device to track down the killer.
They may find certain similarities, be it with a trigger, components, explosive filler. These are why we bring all the investigators to get together around the table. It tells us, it gives us certain clues to who constructed it. It gives us certain clues to the way it was made up, the way it was designed.
The ATF said they would equate the power of this device to about a stick of dynamite. The Durantes Antonio family is working with the Mexican consulate to get the victim's body home to Mexico for burial. The ATF is also investigating the pipe bomb explosion at a tattoo parlor. Agents expect to make an arrest soon. They say a rival tattoo shop connected to a biker gang may be responsible for the fire. It is the second fire to destroy the Black Pearl tattoo shop in the past year.
Well, for the second time in recent weeks, the hills near the famed Hollywood sign went up in flames. Homes and some of the city's more famous landmarks were evacuated as the fire spread through Griffith Park. Nearly 2,000 people are without power as firefighters try to contain the flames. Meg Oliver has the latest from Los Angeles.
So a very dangerous situation indeed up here for firefighters as this fire just blew up after the sun went down.
A Los Angeles landmark is up in flames. A fast-moving wildfire is scorching the city's sprawling Griffith Park.
Look at the embers that are coming up and they are floating down canyon. So
the fire was first reported Tuesday afternoon and grew to some 200 acres. With only about 25% of it contained, the fire continued to burn, triggering evacuations of the city zoo, a museum, golf courses, and an amusement area.
The fire basically got into a lot of inaccessible areas with heavy brush that allowed this fire to grow to the magnitude that it has grown at this point.
At one point, the flames were even moving toward the Griffith Park Observatory, but it never appeared to be in any danger. By nightfall, firefighters and air crews were battling to protect nearby homes.
We have evacuated homes and ordered evacuations.
The 4,000-plus acre Griffith Park separates Hollywood and the San Fernando Valley. Meg Oliver, CBS News.
Boy, incredible pictures. Authorities are investigating whether the fire broke out after a person discarded a cigarette at one of the park's golf courses. That person tried to put out the fire but was badly burned and taken to the hospital.
An attack planned for one of our nation's military bases is foiled.
6 defendants involved in a plot to bring a violent attack on military and civilian personnel at Fort Dix.
Federal prosecutors say the U.S.-based terrorists made a mistake that got them caught. Also, hear what other plans they had for an attack during one of America's favorite sporting events. That's coming up. A local hitman accused of hiring, a local man accused of hiring a hitman to take out his business partner will go to trial for murder.
That murder for hire plot, first uncovered by the I-Team, played out in a courtroom today. Reginald Maurice Dillard was arrested last month after contacting a man he thought was a hitman to kill Darren Lytle, his partner. Instead, that man was a police informant. Police say Dillard wanted to kill Lytle so he could take over their business, D&L Appraisal. The informant testified in court today, saying Dillard wanted the murder carried out carefully.
Then he also said that he would kind of prefer if we didn't do it at his house because his business partner didn't have the type of innings where it would look like a home invasion, and his business partner had a wife and kids, and he didn't want them hurt.
A judge decided there was enough evidence to send that case to trial. Dillard will be back in court May 23rd. And all 5 members aboard a Navy helicopter are dead after it crashed last night in northern Nevada. That crash happened after the helicopter apparently clipped some high voltage power lines near Austin, Nevada. The crew left the Naval Air Station in Fallon and was on a search and rescue training mission. The helicopter was part of an anti-submarine squadron from Jacksonville, Florida.
The Senate has voted to continue to prevent Americans from buying cheaper prescription drugs from Canada and other countries. The decision favors the big drug makers, although supporters claim it's a safety issue. A last-minute amendment to the bill requires foreign drug-making facilities to be deemed safe by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration before Americans can buy drugs from them. President Bush has threatened to veto any bill that changes drug importation under the current system.
A West Las Vegas community came together tonight to voice their frustration and disappointment in not getting a grocery store for their neighborhoods.
We are the people of West Las Vegas. We are taxpayers, we are voters, and we vote a lot of people in office, and they told us one thing, they're doing something else. They had their own agenda.
The group Acorn says the city promised to bring in a grocery store to serve the community, but now it is the last thing on their agenda. The area lost the grocery store that was there years ago when businesses refused to build because they said of the amount of crime.
An Amtrak train slammed into an SUV this morning near Modesto, California. 6 people were killed. Officials say the driver of the SUV was trying to beat the train, but got stuck on the tracks and was hit broadside. A woman, 2 teen girls, 2 young children in car seats, and another young boy were all killed in the SUV. No one on the train was hurt. 6 Muslim extremists are in jail in New Jersey, accused of plotting an attack against soldiers at Fort Dix. The FBI says the group planned to kill as many soldiers as possible at Fort Dix. Karen Brown tells us the suspects made a simple mistake that tipped off authorities.
The 6 suspects, described as Islamic radicals, are being held without bail, charged with plotting a bloody attack on a New Jersey Army base.
We brought criminal complaints today against 6 defendants involved in a plot to bring a violent attack on military and civilian personnel at Fort Dix.
Prosecutors say the homegrown terrorists, all in their 20s, planned a jihad inspired by al-Qaeda, but not directly connected.
Today we dodged a bullet. In fact, when you look at the type of weapons that this group was trying to purchase, we may have dodged a lot of bullets.
4 were from the former Yugoslavia, 2 from the Middle East. Arrested in a late-night sting while trying to buy AK-47s, neighbors in Cherry Hill say by day they were just regular guys.
You would not know that they were plotting something like this. I think there was 10 to 12 people living in a house, but you know, they brought vegetables over, our kids played together.
But authorities say some of their most normal activities were sinister. An example, they say they chose Fort Dix because one of the suspects had delivered pizzas here and so had inside knowledge of how an attack could be carried out. The feds were tipped off after the men brought their training video to a store to have it copied. Under federal surveillance for more than a year, the ring conducted arms training sessions in the Poconos, something family members say was misinterpreted.
They go there, they shoot a little in the shooting range, they want to have fun. I mean, they're guys.
But according to wiretapped conversations, these guys said they would die for their cause, and federal authorities believed them enough not to wait to find out. Karen Brown, CBS News, Fort Dix, New Jersey.
The group allegedly spoke of attacking a Navy base during the weekend of the annual Army-Navy college football game because it would be full of sailors. They're being held without bail.
Well, people are certainly trying to pick themselves up after a devastating tornado destroyed almost all of their small town, but they got more bad news today. After adjusting the death toll down to 9, a police officer died from his injuries, and the number is back up to 10 dead. Tonight, President Bush is scheduled to view the damage. Drew Levinson has more from Greensburg, Kansas.
At the Greensburg post office, just about all that's left is a zip code. The building is in shambles, and that's a big problem. This is a place that contains everybody's name and address.
It's really an identity thief's dream to come to a place like this and take advantage of a situation and get personal information in folders that are scattered throughout town.
Everyone's life in this tiny community has been scattered, including Lee Dawson's. The tornado blew away her home and crumbled her donut shop.
Come on into the donut
ketchup, guys.
Her belongings may be gone, but not her heart. Her brother credits that kind of spirit with helping everyone get by.
But you don't know a stranger here.
But strangers have come to help. Rescue teams from as far away as San Diego are looking for survivors and victims. The insurance companies are here, and FEMA has set up camp in the parking lot of what was City Hall. This town is made up of a lot of elderly people, and many say either they can't or don't want to rebuild. They say they'll go live with relatives in other parts of the country. But the mayor has made it clear he's not leaving.
I'm staying in the front seat of my friend's pickup right now. That's my bedroom.
A statement of defiance, just like the flag they put up Tuesday. It's here to stay. Drew Levinson, CBS News, Greensburg, Kansas.
Storms that devastated that small Kansas town are now churning through parts of the Midwest. Heavy rainfall is forcing residents to retreat to higher ground as a lot of rivers and streams now begin to rise. Missouri's governor has issued a state of emergency and National Guard troops have been mobilized. Residents say they are fearful they'll have the same kind of flooding that caused so much devastation back in 1993. That storm killed almost 50. So it's still going through the Midwest. Where is it now?
It is. I'll show you the radar coming up. There's a pretty good line of storms moving through Texas right now.
Again.
Yes, 5 tornadoes reported just today in that area.
Incredible.
So I'll show you the radar there coming up. But then here we sit.
Yep.
It's calm.
Warm and comfy.
Yeah, it really is. It's really beautiful across not only the Las Vegas Valley, but much of the West Coast. Here's a live look outside right now from the Mulaski Properties camera. Camera's not shaking, just kind of giving us a pretty view tonight of the Strip. Now, what we also have, which is pretty, temperatures right now. Comfortable outside in the 70s for just about all of us, with a few 60s popping up here and there. 69 degrees at Jones and Smoke Ranch. How about El Dorado? 77 right now. We've got a few 80s on this map too, believe it or not, and now they are starting to come down just a little bit. Still mid 70s, upper 70s, 77 right now for Mountain Vista, Lake Mead 71, Pahrump 7 degrees right now, and Death Valley still sitting at 90. Pretty interesting stuff happening here. As we head through the rest of the night tonight, we will stay very mild. So here's a look at the forecast for you if you're heading out. Expecting to bottom out maybe in the mid-60s, clear and extra mild. As we head through the day tomorrow, 95 will be the high temperature. A lot of sunshine, even warmer than today, with a pretty decent breeze lasting throughout the day from the south at about 10 miles per hour. Now what I want to do is compare the 92 that's forecast for tomorrow to the normal. For this time of year, that's the mid-80s. Low temperatures should be right at 60. Today we hit 89 degrees, so today was an above average day, but if you thought it was warm today, just wait till tomorrow. Temperatures will continue to go up. Not expecting to break records though as we head through the next couple of days. Records are in the 100s. I don't think we're going to get there just yet, even though the same area of high pressure is going to stay in place as we head through this upcoming week. This will keep us dry, this will keep our weather beautiful, and it'll keep any sort of weather away. Here's a look at the radar right now. The strong storms I was talking about in Texas, still severe thunderstorms happening down near the southern part of Texas. Hail, strong winds, the possibility of tornadoes lasting as we head through the night tonight. Strong storms moving through Dallas as well, and even all the way up into Oklahoma City. But again, we are not seeing any of that. Much of the western United States will have a really easy day tomorrow. Beautiful, calm, quiet, and comfortable. Maybe a little warm though. Here's a look at the overnight temperatures, and as you head out the door tomorrow morning, we will be close to 70 degrees to start our day at 7 a.m. Again, a nice breeze, maybe about 10 miles per hour throughout the day, and a whole lot of sunshine. I really don't think we're going to have any clouds around tomorrow. It'll be pretty beautiful. Temperatures topping off maybe in the mid-90s for some of us. Laughlin close to 100 degrees for tomorrow, and that will continue the trend as we head through the next couple of days. As we head through the end of the week, we're talking 90s in the forecast for highs, 70s for lows. As we move through the weekend, gorgeous weather for all of our gorgeous mothers, and as we move through the next week, temperatures and weather not changing that much.
Love you, Mom.
I do. I really do love my mom.
Of course you do.
Thanks, Gina.
All right, Gina. Well, after her 6-day tour, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip are saying cheers to the U.S. and heading home. Susan Roberts has more from her historic visit.
Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip hosted President and Mrs. Bush along with other dignitaries at a dinner held at the British ambassador's residence.
May I ask everyone to rise and drink a toast to President and Mrs. Bush, to the future of our two countries and the enduring friendship between Britain and the United States.
It was a festive end to the Queen's 6-day whirlwind tour of the U.S. On Tuesday, Queen Elizabeth paid tribute to fallen heroes at the World War II Memorial in Washington. As a young princess, she joined the war effort as a driver in the women's branch of the British Army and has always shown deep affection for those who serve their country. Earlier, Her Royal Highness brought cheer to young patients at Children's National Medical Center. This is what it's been like for the Queen at every stop during her 5th visit to the United States. Increased security and royal gawkers trying to get a peek at the Queen. At the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, the Queen was the onlooker.
Your Majesty and all the distinguished guests.
From outer space, the Queen heard from 3 astronauts about their work aboard the International Space Station. Late Tuesday, the Queen bid a fond farewell. This could be her last trip to America, and many here hope it was a memorable one. Susan Roberts, CBS News, Washington.
And 2 longtime enemies in Northern Ireland have officially joined together, leading a new government, hoping for peace to stay in their territory. Back in 1998, a peace accord largely ended a 30-year conflict between Catholics and Protestants in Ireland. Today, they were sworn in as leaders of a new power-sharing government, hoping to give greater political stability to residents there.
Tonight, 26 local residents graduated from the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue Citizens Fire Academy. Participants in the 10-week program had the chance to learn about the duties and challenges faced by firefighters and emergency responders. The students got some training in emergency medicine and even went through the fire practice facility. They also got to go on a ride-along to a real call with firefighters. One of the program's graduates, John Nelson, says he gained a greater appreciation for the fire department.
The greatest thing I got out of it was knowing that if I need the fire department, I know they're going to be there, and I know they're well equipped to handle any situation.
But also, and more importantly, understand. We've got more on it on our website.
That's it for Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 11.
We'll see you tomorrow. We turn it over to Chris Maathuis for Sports Tuesday.
And please stay with us. Welcome to Sports Tuesday. Just when boxing gets that much-needed shot in the arm, a tragic note underscores last weekend's championship fight as boxer Diego Corrales is remembered as a fighter's fighter. Plus, a must-win game for the Suns, and who got burned? Answers coming up next on Sports Tuesday. And welcome back to Sports Tuesday. Last night, Diego Corrales died in a motorcycle accident. Boy, he played as hard as he boxed, and ultimately that may have cost him his life.
Corrales bought his new bike last month, and now police are saying excessive speed contributed to the tragedy. A life cut short by driving recklessly. His promoter Gary Shaw released a statement saying, Diego fought recklessly and lived recklessly. That was his style. He always cared about the fans and gave them their money's worth. He was a true warrior. He was what boxing stood for and what boxing is all about. Corrales was a 2-division champ, won 4 world titles, had some big fights, lost to Mayweather, but a win in what some are saying is boxing's greatest bout. Corrales knocked down twice by Jose Luis Castillo, only to come back and stun the crowd with his own knockout win. Because of that one night in 2005, Castillo will forever be linked to Corrales. Castillo will fight on. He meets Ricky Hatton next month here in Las Vegas. Hatton released a statement saying, I'm really sad because he's a fighter's fighter, a real man's fighter, very passionate when he got in the ring. Always went forward, was always in good fights. I'm going to dedicate my next fight to Diego Corrales. A goodwill act for one of his own, a man whose life was cut short too soon. Diego Chico Corrales dead at the age of 29.
All right, promoter Gary Shaw is going to push to see if he can get Corrales inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame. So boxing loses one of its own. Boy, the sport has certainly taken its share of abuse, some saying it's lost its luster. But last weekend's title fight proved the sport doesn't have to peel itself off the canvas.
Saturday's title fight is proof boxing isn't dead. Maybe it's taken a few jabs, but it's still swinging. Top Rank's Bob Arum says compelling fights are what's lacking.
If you have a Class A fighter fighting a Class C or D fighter, people won't come.
Arum feels boxing promoters need to shoulder more responsibility in trying to maintain those monumental matches.
You've got to somehow avoid, promoters feuding with each other. So one promoter says, I won't let my fighter fight the other guy's fighter.
De La Hoya and Mayweather gave casual fans something to talk about, which can only help.
Do another big fight with 2 guys that are built up and appeal to the public, and you're going to get the same, if not a bigger response.
If boxing needed a Band-Aid, Saturday's title fight closed a cut that now has the public waiting for the next bell.
All right, and still ahead on Sports Tuesday, the Suns looking to bring some light back into their series with the Spurs. We'll take you to the Valley of the Sun and shed some light on Game 2. Sports Tuesday here on Channel 8, back after this. All righty, and welcome back. Suns got burned by the Spurs in Game 1. Game 2, and this time Phoenix was prepared for anything, sporting those Band-Aids on their nose. Remember, in honor of Steve Nash. And speaking of Nash, he's got to be your MVP. As he goes, so goes the Suns. He had 20 and 16 assists. Sunshine whipping the Spurs 101-81. The series tied at 1. LeBron James leading the Cavs into battle against the Nets. Boy, he heats up in the second half, scoring 25 of his game-high 36. New Jersey, though, hitting 53% from the field. Vince Carter leads the charge for the Nets with 26, but they couldn't slow down James. Cleveland 6-0 in the postseason with a 102-92 win. Las Vegas 51s back home tonight, getting Oklahoma. Dodgers top brass in town. That's LA's general manager. He's in town. How about Ned Colletti? Oh, he was in town, left a sour taste in your mouth. No way to show off to the boss. Red Hawks jump out to a 6-0 lead, and they coast to a an easy 9-5 win. Dodgers and Marlins playing in the haze caused by those brush fires in southwest Florida. LA ties the game at 5 in the 8th, and then in the 9th, here's your game winner. Miguel Cabrera gets a crowd of 11,000 off their seat. Game-winning single. Florida beats LA. 6-5 was your final. UNLV coach Lon Kruger painted the city red last month with the team's run into the Sweet 16. Now a different painting. One for this week's Henderson Art Fest. He's got 2 signed masterpieces, which you can bid on Thursday at the Henderson Community Center. One of the many celebrity paintings there. We're out of time. David Letterman up next. Craig Ferguson's got Floyd Mayweather. Good night, everybody.